You want to know a secret?
Before the pandemic, something else happened in 2018. Does anybody know what happened in 2018?
What happened? What happened? What happened?
Something economic happened. So the last market crash, 2007 to 2009. The last time that the market went in a dip, a significant dip, was during these 2 years. Well, by 2013, probably here, I guess, that market had rebounded back up to where it was before it crashed, 2007.
That's a relief.
Okay, so it was a 2-year dip, and it was a 4-year return. Get back to where they started. So, what that means is if you bought here at the top of the market, and this was actually between November 2006 and February 2007 was the peak of that crash. So this is the very beginning of 2007. If you would have bought right there and owned that property until here, you would have been at the same price.
Wait, what?
However, let's fast forward to 2022. You fast forward to 2022, that same property is gone something like this. Okay, and it's going to be up here.
Yeah, boy!
But let's look at what's happened in our prices most recently. So most recently, you've got prices in 2019 here in Northern Virginia. Before the pandemic, something else happened in 2018. Does anybody know what happened in 2018? Not the pandemic, something economic happened. Amazon. Okay? So, 2018, Amazon announces that they're going to Crystal City for their second headquarters.
Amazon confirms it will split its second headquarters between New York City and the Washington, D.C. area. The decision is expected to bring an estimated 25,000 new jobs to each location in Queens, New York, and Arlington, Virginia.
They're going to add in, over a period of 12 years, 2,000 jobs a year, of which 60% will be local. So that means 800 new jobs every year over 12 years, which is a drop in the bucket. However, what's happened as a result of that, if you go to Reston right now, you look at the buildings in Reston, what's on the side of them? Microsoft, Google. You guys see that? That wasn't there 4 years ago. Okay? So because you have one tech giant coming into the marketplace, other tech giants are following them.
That makes sense.
So what's the economy right now of Washington, D.C., of Northern Virginia? Yeah, well, yeah, it is up, right? But what drives the economy? There's two things that drive our economy. Technology today and the United States government. Okay? And it's not really the government. So when we hear like the elections and everyone's going to move out, everyone's going to move in. Yeah, that's true, but that, again, it's a small segment of population. What really drives the market is the contractors. Booz Allen Hamilton, SAIC, Northrop Grumman. That's what drives our local economy. Okay, the contracts with the government, and if you're looking at what's driving our economy today, you've got a technology sector that's in its toddlerhood. Okay, toddler, like lots to grow. You've got the United States government. Now, if anything happens to the technology industry or the United States government, I don't think there's any place on the world that we could live in that's not going to be impacted. We're all screwed. Okay? That's just the reality of it. Okay? So, 2018, Amazon announces that their headquarters here. It was March of 2020. I was sitting in my living room, and the NBA announces in the middle of a game, okay, folks, go home.
The game tonight has been postponed. You are all safe. And take your time in leaving the arena tonight and do so in an orderly fashion. Thank you for coming out tonight.
That's the second where I'm like, all right, this may be serious. Okay? Because up until then, I was paying attention to it, but I thought, okay, significant flu, like, I don't want that. Okay? And I'll stay home, right? But it's just something that, I didn't think that was as serious as it was. But Then I realized, oh my goodness, like this is for real. So what happened 2020? March, April, May, June of 2020. Nothing. No buyers, no sellers. Everyone's scared, everyone's hunkered down. Well, 4 months in, what do you think happens 4 months into the marketplace? At this point, everybody that's living in those condominiums. You've got your kids crawling over the top of you. You got your neighbors crawling over the top of you. You're like, dude, I'm done with this condo. I want to move to, at least a townhome, if not a single family home. And I want to move from the crowded in to the more sparsely out. Okay? But guess what happened? The people that lived on the outskirts, the people that lived in those larger homes, they're going to stay put. Okay, so what this caused was you called a discrepancy in the supply and demand. So what happened was during, from June of 2020, the demand rises. The supply stays the same because the people the people who they want to buy, they're not moving. But guess what? Something did make them move. What made them move? Prices escalate dramatically. Okay, that's what made, it's like, hey, look, you don't want to move? Let me pay you. Yeah, okay, I'll move now. Okay? And so that's what happened between the tail end of 2020. You get into 2021, you had a slowdown of that through the winter, through the seasonal cycle of 2021. And then you had that come again, a second wave. Now, you come back into 2022. What happens in 2022? All the government stimulus that happened during the pandemic are now aggravating the economy into inflation. Okay, so you have supply and demand that has 2 cycles of appreciating prices. Now you've got inflation that is hitting prices. Okay, so now the government says, okay, let's slow this down. And the government attempts to do that by manipulating the overnight rate for the banks that we already discussed. That's the history of where we've been. Now, why is that important for you? Is because the more information that you have as a consumer, the better that you'll be able to have that faith, because we talked about that fear, that you probably get, that anxiety, right? Now you can sit there and say, you know what, I can choose to be afraid because the news is saying this, or I can educate myself intelligently to understand what's actually happening in the marketplace so I can understand what's going on today.